Okay, kids, so I have a video that I'm going to make hastily showing you what you need to be doing on Friday. So a couple things, since I'm not going to be here because I have a mock trial competition, here's what's going down for Friday. I need you to read pages 1 through 20 of Fahrenheit 451 by Monday. I also need you to complete a literature circle, which I'll explain what a literature circle is in a moment. If you had Mr. Rankin last year, you probably know what these are. If you didn't, I'm going to give you a full explanation here in a minute. Also, I need you to read the salamander mythology slide. It's on our Google slide, which is, I think it's like slide number 13. So if you look, the Fahrenheit 451 Google slide that I have my cursor on, open that up, go to slide 13. Please read the salamander mythology because it does dovetail into the book. In fact, in the first 20 pages, you'll see Montag, who's the main character, refer to his fire truck as a salamander. And the mythology behind that is relevant to why they call their fire truck a salamander. So also what I need you to do for this very first literature circle, I will let you choose your own circle. So you need to form groups. Depending on your class size, you need groups of 3, 4, or 5 students. I really would like to see 6 different groups. So if your class has 24 kids in it, divide it by 6, and that'll give you 4, and that's how many kids should be in a group, assuming I just did my math correctly, which I think I did, but I'm an English teacher. I make mistakes when it comes to math. So please organize yourself in groups of 3, 4, or 5. Generally, the bigger the groups, the better, but we don't want them to get too big. Like I don't want groups of 8 or something like that. Once you have formed a group, I need you to grab a literature circle sheet. Now, these sheets will be located at the front of the room. I have like a hanging file folder system. They should be labeled. I'll make sure there are plenty of copies in there for Friday. So let's take a look at what exactly these literature circles look like. You could also do one digitally if you want, if you don't want to do it by hand. I would prefer you did these by hand, though. I really want paper copies. Please only do a digital copy if you are out sick or you lost yours or something else. And the reason I would do by hand, and I'm not going to think to look in your Google Drive for them. So chances are, if it's in your Drive, I'll mark it as a 0, and you'll be like, Mr. Clark, when I did it, and I'll be like, well, I don't have it, and you'll be like, it's in the Google Drive, and we have to go through that whole thing. So please do it on the paper copy. I would appreciate that. So let's look at the different jobs we have in a literature circle. Now, all a literature circle is, it's a group of you who have read the same thing, and you each have a different job. Everyone in the group has a different job. That's very important, which is why I'm saying it like this, different job, as opposed to just like different job. So make sure everyone has a different job in your group. Each person is responsible for completing their job thoroughly so that ideally on Monday, when we come back in your groups, you will all share the information you have. It will lead to group discussion, and we will learn a lot from each other about this text. So let's take a look at the jobs. Job 1, discussion director. Each job has instructions. They're very clear. Complete them, totally. If I have 5 spaces, like this one has, I expect you to have all 5 of these things filled in. When I go to grade these, if you only have 3 of the 5 completed, I will give you 3/5 of a grade, which is a 60%. And nobody wants that. So please have 5/5 done so you get a 100%. Even I know that as an English teacher. So, discussion director. You will develop a list of questions for your group to discuss. You will focus on the big ideas from the reading and on sharing your reactions to the text. I don't want questions like, what is the main character's name? That's not a big question. I want questions like, why did this happen? I didn't understand this part. What do you think happened? So bigger, open-ended questions, questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes, no, main character's name equals Guy Montag type answer. Okay, next. So your group will have one of those. Connector. This is kind of a fun job. You will make connections between the readings and your life. Shouldn't be too hard to do. On the surface, it might be hard, because you might not be thinking the right way. But this is kind of fun because there are a lot of connections between Fahrenheit 451 and your life. You can also, hey, look at this. You can include pictures or videos. Now, in this case, if you wanted to do pictures or video, you'll send them to me, and then on Monday, I'll show them into the class. And that could be kind of fun. Okay. Passage Master. The Passage Master sounds like a taekwondo thing. You identify the most powerful, interesting, humorous, puzzling passages in the reading. So ideally, we want to find you'll identify them page number, a passage where maybe you didn't understand something. And there's no shame in that, because when we read books, even like I'm reading a book right now, it's called The Neuromancer. Stand by. Just so you know I'm not lying, it is right here, Neuromancer. It's actually the base of The Matrix. If you've seen the movie The Matrix, this is the book that inspired The Matrix. This book has some really weird stuff in it, and I don't always understand what's happening myself, and I think I'm a pretty good reader. So I have to go back and reread, and it's a mess. I'm sure you have to do the same thing. So please, just identify those passages, and we'll talk about them in class. Illustrator. This is the job everyone wants because it's super fun. You get to draw. So you take your section and you will draw something from that section. So maybe there's something that really struck out to you from the story. You want to draw it. That would be this. Now, I know this is not art class, and I'm not going to grade you for artistic value, but I would like to see you try. Maybe use some colored pencils, some crayons, markers. Give it some effort. If you can only do stick figures, that's cool. Try and fill the whole box, though. Don't just draw a little stick figure in the corner, or some kids will do a little book. Wow, thanks. A book. You couldn't draw, I don't know, more books? Something. At least try and fill the space. Do the best that you can. Summarizer. We know how to write a summary because we've gone over it. You will just write a summary of the section. I even put the formula here for you. You're welcome. Okay, let's look at the next. Travel tracer. This is pretty cool, especially for the beginning of the book. What you will do is track page numbers and where the character physically is in the book. So where is Montag? In the firehouse? Is he on the train? Is he at home? Is he outside on the sidewalk? So those are all settings in the first 20 pages. You would track, you just track 3 of those, so you don't even have to track everything. Vocab enricher. A lot of kids like this because it's super easy. What you do is you identify words that you do not understand or that you think are interesting. You'll put the page number, the word, the definition of the word, you'll have to look that up, and the context. Basically, how was it used in the book? That's the context. Now, I know you guys are super duper duper smart, and some of you are like, I know all the words. First off, I know that's not true. I don't even know all the words, and I know more words than most of you. So if you are so smart and you know more words than anyone else on the planet, do us all a favor and just please pick a word for each of these boxes, complete each of them, and we'll pretend like you didn't know those words, even though we know you knew all of them, and I don't believe that. But that's okay. So please fill this in totally. Investigator. I think this one's kind of fun too. You will pick 3 things from the story, from the section, pages 1 through 20, and dig up some background information. It could be about the author, geography, weather. You could look for pictures or objects, music that reflects the book or its time period, anything. Dig up some background, find some cool, fun, interesting stuff. And that's the last one, I believe, is it? My goodness, I just wish there were more. There are 8 of these. Now, chances are your group, depending on its size, will not have all of these represented. That's fine. If you have a group of 3 and you have a discussion director and you have a connector and you have a passage master and that's it, totally fine. You do not have to do the other ones. Everyone just gets one job. Also, keep in mind, because I know some of you are like, oh my God, I want to be illustrator so bad. I just love to draw. That's cool. You can only do each job one time. So if you didn't get to be illustrator this time, that's okay. Maybe you'll get to be illustrator next time. We're going to do this, I think, 4 or 5 times, so you will do most of these. I think that's all the instruction I have. Make sure you do the reading. Make sure you look at the salamander slide. Make sure you have this literature circle done for Monday. You will have to form your own groups. And that's it. If you need anything, I don't know what to tell you because I'll be at mock trial and there's no Wi-Fi. There's no nothing. I can't have my phone out. I have to sit there and be quiet because we're in a courtroom and we have to do courtroom type things. So hopefully we have all the information here. Make sure you get done what you can, and I will talk to you on Monday.